What up, my nerd brethren? And today we're going to be answering the important question. What if some older DT770 Pro hooked up with a hot young wife like the DT700 Pro X and they got it on and produced an offspring? What would that look and sound like? Well, Beyerdynamic for their 100th anniversary about to find out by releasing the DT770 Pro X, DT770 with detachable cable and the stellar 45 driver from the 700 Pro X. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun just to have a little bit of a think about what that might be like. Well, Beyerdynamic are about to find out, because for their 100th anniversary they're releasing the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro X limited edition. I'm hoping to get my hands on some when they come out. But in the meantime, I thought it'd be fun just to make one, because it looks like a little bit of a parts bin special. Let's have a look at some photos. So you'll see here the ear cup looks very much like the DT770. The hinges are from the 1990, which is my favourite hinges, machined from aluminium. Oh, real nice hinges. They've redesigned the shoulders, the little where the clicky mechanism goes. We've not had it really, but on the older ones I have heard people getting them cracked. So the new ones are a bit bigger, probably a bit stronger, which will be an improvement on that. But the main thing that's different, other than the detachable cable, is the fact that they've got the stellar 45 driver in there from the DT700 Pro X. So that is interesting. And you'd think maybe it's just a parts bin special that they've made out of all the other parts they've got knocking around, but the ear cups are definitely different because there's no hole in the standard mould for the DT770s to take a detachable cable, and obviously the hinges hold on slightly differently, and the stellar driver, they have a little socket inside, so they would have needed to redesign a piece inside the ear cup, so it'll have certainly some completely bespoke parts. I think the hinges, the shoulders, obviously they're bespoke. But the good thing is, because it shares the basic headband design with the DT770, all those parts will be interchangeable. So you can pick up a cheap or broken pair of DT770s, take parts off it, repair your DT770 Pro X's, which is good. Whew, that's a bit of a mouthful. So, how did I get my hands on these early? I didn't. We've got all the parts here. I thought it'd be fun to build one and have a listen. So I'm just speculation at the moment what these are going to sound like, because we don't know what tuning Beyerdynamic have done. What I've done is I've put the DT770 pads on, I've fitted the stellar 45 drivers, reverse engineered the nameplate and the shoulders just from images off the thing, and then 3D printed them and painted them. They're a little bit rough, but yeah, our 3D printer didn't quite have the detail to get them as nice as I'd want, and so it's just for fun. It's hardly worth putting in all that effort. But the interesting thing was having a listen. I think these have got real potential. Yeah. So the advantage of the stellar driver is obviously that it's a much lower impedance. It's much easier to drive. They're very sensitive. You can run them off just a laptop or something like that. It'll sound really good. The 32 ohm version of the 770 are a little bit bloated in the kind of bass region, whereas these, I can't remember, they're like 48 ohms or something like that. So they're going to be easy to drive, but the bass is much better. I've been having a listen to these this morning, and they sound great. I like them. This isn't This isn't how they're going to sound necessarily. It gives you a ballpark kind of idea of what they could be like. What might also be fun is just doing one of those little listening tests where we stick it on the ears, play a bit of music, you compare A with B. It won't sound like the actual headphone sound because you're listening through different headphones or speakers, but it'll give you an idea of the kind of which one's got the most treble and bass and mid-range and how it compares. Let's do the thing.
Is it getting better? Or do you feel the same? Will it make it easier on you now? When you got someone to blame? You say, one love, one life. When it's one need in a night. One love, we got to share it.
should we just take some measurements of what some DT770 with some stellar drivers might sound like? So I've got all three pairs. I've got them all with detachable cables so we can see where they're at. These are the 250 ohm version of the DT770, which tend to have a slightly brighter treble, just because I didn't have any 80s to hand. But yeah, just give you an idea. So we're going to do 250 ohm DT770 Pro versus 700 Pro X versus DT770 Pro X offspring. What we'll do is we'll start. I've just taken a measurement of the 770 Pro X, the jumbled together version, and we'll stick these on with the amp set the same and just see whether it's louder or quieter in the different housing. So everything else is the same. Obviously those drivers are in a different housing and you've got different pads. Right, so if we have a look at this graph, the blue line is the 770 Pro X, possibly, depending on how they tune it, and the other one is the green line is the 700 Pro X. So you can see pretty similar shape with the driver. You haven't got that big peak at around 8K that you get on a lot of Beyerdynamics, which is a feature of the Pro X. The one that we've modded into the drivers, you've got the mid-range is a bit lower and the bass is a little bit higher. One thing that I've noticed on these stay flat, pretty flat, right down to like 10 Hertz. So sub-bass, stuff like that, because you're not on the edge of what they can handle. So yeah, 10 Hertz, not a problem for these. So 20 Hertz is fine. You know, some headphones are going to be struggling around, you know, they're going to be dropping off at 40 or 50 Hertz. These pretty solid down to 10 Hertz. So your sub-bass and stuff, very detailed. It's not, you know, 20 Hertz is not a problem for these drivers because they can go down much lower. They're not struggling at that point. So yeah, so great for nice flat bass. I think these are going to be around £200, so these are going to be good. Yeah, these if they do come out, I think these are going to be around £200, and certainly if you're a bit of a bass fiend, these are going to give you good bass for £200. So the only thing that I'm wondering about is what they're going to do with the mids, because yeah, without any kind of tuning on there, and with the same DT770 pads, we've got a bit too much of a dip in the mids, really, which there's a slight hump about 3K, so it kind of accentuates that a little bit. The vocals are a little bit forwards, so bass amazing, treble nice and detailed but smooth, vocals a little bit forwards without any tuning. It'd be really interesting to see what when the real ones come out. I'm going to do a little comparison between the ones that we've bodged together here and the real ones, and yeah, that'll be quite interesting. I think they're coming out in April, so it's not that long. I've had these on my desk for about a month. I just haven't bothered to shoot a video. It would have been cooler to do it earlier. But yeah, so those. Now then, let's just get a jobby of the DT770. These are modified DT770 with a detachable cable and some slight footling. Now then, these are going to be much quieter, harder to drive, so I'm going to have to adjust that amplifier to get those to line up nicely. Yeah, these are about 4 decibels quieter. Okay, so here's the 770 250 ohm. These ones are lightly modified to give them a slightly flatter response, but you can definitely see, so they've got more of a peak around 9K. The mids are a bit lower, so that peak is going to really stand out a bit more, and then the bass drops off a little bit quicker. So you don't have quite as much sub bass with but it's just close. Yeah, so this has got a lot of potential. I think that it's a nice crisp sound. I quite like the sound of these. For some reason I prefer the sound of these to those, but it might be the pads. Like the bigger pad, I've got quite big ears. The bigger pads are nice. Let me know what you think. Are you excited about the DT770 Pro X coming out? I would say it's one to keep an eye on. I think this has definitely got potential. It's going to be interesting, especially because it'll run off normal stuff. We sell quite a lot of these to people that play like the Beyerdynamic range to gamers and things like that now. It used to be that we would only kind of sell them to people in studios. Now we get contacted by a lot of people who are gaming and streaming and that kind of stuff and just using them straight off their sound card. And these you really need an amplifier to get the most out of them, whereas the Stellar driver will run directly off laptops and stuff. Obviously they'll scale a bit, so you plug in an amplifier, they sound a bit better, but they will run off just about anything. So yeah, so exciting times. Let me know what you think. How close do you reckon we are? I think they will have. It'd be really interesting to see, but I suspect they will have brought up that mid-range a little bit with some kind of tweaks to the pads or something like that. But yeah, I'm going to be having a bit more of a listen to these. What we might do, because yeah, as I said, we get a few people that have broken their little hinge pieces, because I've designed these and these work pretty well. We might sell those or sell the STL files, so you can have these new square design sort of shoulder pieces here, because yeah, they work perfectly, they 3D print perfectly, and it took me probably a day to design and test them. So yes, if you'd be interested in a set of these, let me know, and we'll put a link to where you can buy them or download the STLs to print them off yourself. But yes, cool. It's been super awesome hanging out, and I'm very excited for these to come out. Yeah, I can't wait till next month to have a go on the real ones. Anyway, I'll probably see you guys there. I'll probably do another video when they come out. We'll see how close we were. Anyway, see you guys. It's super awesome hanging out, and I will see you again. What would happen if the DT770 Pro and the DT700 Pro X had a baby? You know, like, getting it on. Question, what if slightly sleazy old pair of DT770 Pros, they're old, and then a hot young thing like the DT770 Pro X, they got it on in an inappropriate relationship. And then what if a pair of DT770 Pro, while out on a night out, they drink a bit too much, they hook up with some DT700 Pro X, and you know, they like get it on, and in the morning they're like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Oh yeah, no, it's totally bad.